Back with another one. This one should be a good one. I'm gonna need y'all to hit me up in the comment section on how y'all feeling, what y'all opinions are. But this gonna be a little tricky one. Seems clear cut on the surface, but let's really break it down, unpack it, and see what it's about.
To rent a home is part of an ongoing federal trial now. 13 Chief Investigator Darcy Spears has the bizarre story of a property manager who required his tenant to sign a sex contract and is now facing allegations of discrimination, harassment, and fraud. Darcy, what is this all about?
Well, you guys, it's actually hard to fathom that someone would put something like this in writing. We've had to cover some of the words because we can't show them on TV, but here it is in black and white. It's so crazy, I didn't believe it until I saw it in the court record. This is Alan Rothstein, the man who wrote the sex contract. Court records show he forced a prospective tenant to sign it in November 2018.
Simply amazing. My man actually read up a sex contract. Simply amazing. But my question is, how do you force somebody to sign a sex contract? They showed the picture of Alan. Alan is old, weak, and frail. How did Alan force anyone to sign anything? See, that's where these stories go off the rails to me. Because I'm all with you. Alan is a horrible individual and a piece of ish if this is what he's doing. But if you signing contracts that's requiring you to give your body, can we just put it all on the person that wrote the contract up? Like, can you be mad at the man for asking? How do you force somebody to sign that? But maybe they're going to explain it. Let's get into that. I'm just not following that part. I'm with you with Alan is a little creepy, but let's make the story make sense.
In order to rent this 4-bedroom home on Wedgebrook Street near Las Vegas Boulevard and St. Rose Parkway. At the time, Rothstein was the property manager and also a real estate broker. He lost both licenses after a Nevada Real Estate Division investigation. He now stands to lose a lot more if a federal judge finds him guilty. He's currently on trial for violations of the Fair Housing Act in this lawsuit filed by his former tenant. And the facts are unlike anything this experienced housing lawyer has ever seen.
My reaction was, you had to be putting me on, that nobody in their right mind would go to the trouble to draw up a contract like this.
No one involved would talk to us as the trial is ongoing.
I'm just asking. I'm asking for a friend. They in Nevada. Sex work is legal in Nevada and parts in Nevada. Does sex work equals money? You couldn't write that money into your lease. Like I say, it's nasty, it's horrible. But if we got rules and we got laws, we gotta follow them. I'm just trying to see, because Alan thought he had a leg to stand on when he did this freaky deek stuff. And I'm still stuck on how somebody got forced into signing a lease with a sex contract on it. You wouldn't want to take that immediately to the police? Forget signing it for now. You don't want to take it immediately to the police? And this is what I mean, like, we got to start spreading some of the personal responsibility around in this story. You know what I mean? Because if somebody's a creep, then we don't do anything with them. We don't allow for the creepiness to go further. Let's continue.
We asked legal expert Bruce Flammey to analyze the case. Have you ever seen anything like this?
No, not even on bar exams in law school. Nobody has ever put something like this together that I've ever seen. Although, in all candor, I think there's more of these out there.
Sources close to the case tell 13 Investigates this is not the first time.
Does that look like the guy that's forcing somebody to do something? Does that look like the big bad wolf? And I know you're going to say, well, it doesn't always look like this. Come on, man. You ain't forcing nobody to sign no sex contract, especially not him. Not Ned Flanders right here. Come on, man. Save us.
Rothstein has done this, and there are other victims. Rothstein himself admitted to the real estate division that he wrote the sex contract and required the tenant to sign it. And in court records, he says any agreements or documents mentioned speak for themselves.
When somebody says the document speaks for itself,
You a piece of shit, but you're standing on it. I gotta respect that. And that makes me think that he thinks he has a leg to stand on somewhere. And if this is what he's been doing, he probably been giving out reduced rent all over Nevada, getting his little cookies. And because you or I don't agree with it, I'm starting to feel a little weird for demonizing the man. Because this isn't adding up. This is not sounding right. He got multiple contracts out there like this. So it's multiple people that's like, okay, yeah, come through 2-3 times a month. I'll take $300 off the bill. Make me understand.
what they're really saying is, I don't want to talk about it.
We're talking about it to the extent that we can. We'll begin with the title.
It's direct consent for sexual intercourse and or which is in italics. Who names a document that?
It goes on to say, please
Somebody
read
that's
this
trying to
legal
do it once,
contract
twice a month.
carefully.
And that's where I started laughing, because this is a legal contract the way the actors on Grey's Anatomy are real doctors, okay? This is literally not worth the paper it's printed on.
But you already admitted that that's not even your field of expertise, and you never even saw nothing like that. So I don't know how you could be so certain. But anyway, let's get into the fact that that was very graphic, and it detailed a whole lot. It wasn't shaded. It was right in your face. Why are you signing that? I'll be honest with you. I got 3 daughters. If one of my daughters signed something like that, I'd be so freaking disappointed. And they know it. And they know it. Because around here, it's personal responsibility. Why would you sign something like that? And the only reason why I'm doing this is for the next person that might be in this situation. It doesn't even have to be a situation like this. We all have crossroads in life. We all have moments in life where we gotta show a little bit more character than we did before, the day before, maybe the month before, maybe for 2-3 years. But when it come down to a situation where somebody got written down, all the stuff that was just written down in that sex contract, and you sign it, you can't double back and now play super victim like that. Like I said, my man is on some other stuff for even writing it up. But if you wrote it up and somebody signed it, how can one be totally on some other stuff but the other one just, they was forced into signing it. And they still never explain how they was forced into signing it.
Terms of the so-called contract are even crazier than the title. The tenant had to swear she wasn't signing under the influence of any intoxicant, including alcohol, drugs, oysters,
Truffles, sea cucumber, strawberries, lobster. I've never known anybody to be under the influence of lobster. Dark chocolate, cocaine,
so he was
LSD,
giving you
and
no
cannabis.
out.
I don't know where
That's
you get a
saying
list
you
like
know
that.
exactly
Another
what you're
paragraph says the
signing,
tenant
and you know
swears
exactly
she does
why
not
you're
currently have a
signing it.
boyfriend, girlfriend, or parent who is larger, meaner, and more physically aggressive, owns firearms, and or is more possessive than Rothstein.
She was
He even tried to put in the contract, make sure you don't have nobody bigger than me that can kick my ass. He put it in the contract and y'all signed it. Come on, man. The more this goes on, the more I just admire my man's boldness, man. He wasn't trying to take nothing. He tried to get you to sign it over.
she didn't sign this, she was not going to be able to get the unit. So for all intents and purposes, it's exactly sex for a place to live. It's exactly what it is. And it's almost sex on demand.
What do we make of the fact that she initialed this thing?
Nothing. People sign things all the time and thought that they admitted,
Come
well, you
on,
signed it, so it's
man.
binding.
Come on,
There are a
man.
variety of things you can
And
sign
that's
that are
right
not binding.
there, the frustrating
Any
part.
contract that is
And
against
that's
the law
why youth
or public policy is not
are
binding.
straying
So why
and
would
sliding the way
anyone
they
sign
slide
anything like
because
this?
it's no
Court
personal
documents say in August
responsibility.
2018,
They can't
the
never
tenant
learn
and her
from
5
someone
children
else's
were
mistakes,
homeless, living
because
from
someone
week to
else's
week in a
mistakes always
residential
get
hotel.
minimized, and then we
The
make them
Southern
pay
Nevada
back
Regional
what's to put
Housing
it all on.
Authority threw them a lifeline, approving them for Section 8, a federal program that funds local public housing authorities to help low-income families rent from private landlords.
But one of the provisions of Section 8 is that once you're approved, you have to find a residence that will be covered by the program within about...
Now they're gonna hit you with the sob story. I knew people back in the day that wanted Section 8 and they had to apply 4 or 5 times before a house became available. Houses get sparse when you paying a $200 rent for a $1,200, $1,500 house. Sometimes you gotta wait. And 9 times out of 10, if you're on Section 8, you understand you gotta wait. And you might gotta reapply. So don't hit us with the sob story, man. Don't hit us with the sob story. That's not a good enough excuse. You shouldn't have signed and you shouldn't have initialed that.
days of when you're approved. Now, depending on where she was in that 60-day window when this thing came up, she may not have had other options.
Court records say
But
she'd
to
been
sign a
allowed
sex
to move
contract.
in and paid out of pocket.
And that's what I mean. That's the frustrating part. You're going to sit here and say it was no other choice but a bad choice. It was another choice. Reapply and wait some more time. Hell out of here with that, man.
To fix up the house so HUD would approve it.
So when you slap this document down in front of her and say, sign this or you have no place to live, that's coercion, that's duress.
How is
and I
she getting in the
believe
house and she ain't
violation of
signed no
federal law.
The
paperwork?
tenant's lawsuit alleges several other violations, including charging illegal fees and wrongful eviction after she refused any sexual encounters. In court records, Rothstein disputes any fair housing violations. Attorney Falami says no matter the outcome of the civil trial, accountability shouldn't stop there.
There may or may not have been crimes committed here. The word extortion flashes in my mind in this kind of situation. But that's not what this trial is about that's going on in federal court right now.
If she never paid any fees, I mean, if she was charged extra fees, but she never paid any, like, I'm confused. Run that back. Look, we done took this too far. I probably done got myself in trouble on YouTube. But personal responsibility, man. Personal responsibility for everybody in every situation. I understand times get tough, times get hard, but we can't go around signing sex contracts, then getting mad. You know what I mean? And trying to play the victim. You ever get something like that put in front of you, man? Immediately go to the police. I'm out.